Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It is Ask the Experts here on Talk Radio 1190. We interview local prominent professionals here in the beautiful Dallas-Fort Worth, especially today, beautiful day out, on what? Their area of expertise. Of course, I'm the host of the show, Matt Cather. Joining me on today's show, great to have him back, it's attorney Mark Underwood. Really excited to talk to him. Before we get to Mark, though, he's a personal injury attorney. His office is located in McKinney, Texas. You can find him online at underwoodlawoffice.com. That's underwoodlawoffice.com. The phone number is pretty simple. It's just 844-UNDERWOOD. That's 844 Underwood. If you'd love to, they'd love to hear from you. Even if you just got some questions for him, don't be afraid to reach out. Mark, welcome to the show. It's good to talk to you again, sir.
Thank you for having me on this beautiful day in North Texas, DFW.
Yes, it is a fantastic day out. A great weekend for Memorial Day. Of course, we always hope for a good weekend, good weather during the Memorial Day weekend, of course. Now, Go ahead. Mark, I know we got a lot of things to cover. We always do when we have you on the show. I like to set the stage, and, we do this about once a month or so. If they missed the previous show, I hope they didn't, because we covered a lot of stuff. But if they did, kind of just give an overview. Tell the listeners out there what you guys are all about at Underwood Law Office.
So, hey, my law firm does some of the worst disasters in the entire country. Everything from an oil refinery blowing up to a fertilizer plant in the town of West Texas blowing up and destroying about a third of the town, all the way to a disaster that happens for an individual. If you're in a horrible car crash or construction accident, you're seriously injured, and you want to pursue your rights under the Seventh Amendment of the United States Constitution to be compensated in a civil jury trial, we handle those types of cases. One of the things we do as part of that is we look for whether or not a person has become disabled as a result of their injuries. And we can apply for Social Security disability benefits, or perhaps even disability benefits under a private policy that they've also paid for, provided through their employment, which is covered by a federal act called the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, which I think we've talked about on some previous shows. But today we're talking about Social Security disability. So let's say you are a hardworking man or woman working construction. Part of the construction project collapses on top of you. You're seriously injured, and you're trying to figure out if you can make a claim for your injuries, either under workers' compensation or a personal injury lawsuit. In the meantime, we might be able to apply for Social Security disability to get you compensation, to get you some income coming in to provide for your family and your children based on the payments that you've made for disability benefits over years and years and years. So we're talking about Social Security disability today.
Perfect. Well, and I guess there's the best way to start things off is, of course, topic of discussion today is, qualify disability benefits through Social Security. The main question will be, to kick things off, exactly how do you qualify for disability benefits, Mark?
Well, that's a relatively complicated question. It's kind of two-part, but the first part of that is, how do you know if you can qualify for it? How do you know if you've paid in enough to the program over your work-life history that you might actually be able to qualify for the benefit? So, how do you know if you were to apply, if you can be considered for Social Security disability benefits? There's a couple different ways to do that. Number one, you can go to ssa.gov, fill out some forms online, and they will provide you with access to your work history. By work history, that means all the money you paid into the system over the years, and by looking at your work history, you can find out whether or not you've paid and worked for enough quarters to qualify. If you're not particularly computer literate, you need a little more consultation. You can call a lawyer like myself, my law firm, Underwood Law Office, and come in, fill out a release, and we can go and check out your work history on Social Security Disability and tell you whether or not you've worked long enough to qualify for Social Security Disability, or would you just qualify for what's called SSI, Supplemental Security Income. So the first thing is to find out whether or not you have enough of a work history that you can actually make the application. And then once you make the application, once you know that you qualify for the application, you can, it becomes a much more complicated question involving what your conditions are, what your age is, what types of past relevant work that you've done. So in a nutshell, that's how you do it to determine whether or not you could actually qualify to apply.
Let's kind of do a scenario, Mark. Let's paint a picture for the listeners out there. Say they went online and created an account, even though they haven't worked in the last 5 to 6 years. It said that they're eligible for a $900 per month disability benefit, but it had said I had a date last insured of December 30th, 2018, and I didn't get sick in 2020. I know that's long-winded, but what exactly does that mean?
Yeah, so basically what you're asking me is, what if you become disabled after your what's called your date last insured? So since you haven't worked for the last 5 or 6 years, you're going to have a date last insured that's going to be a few years ago. And you're going to be required to have a date of disability within the date last insured. So if you didn't get sick until 2020, but your date last insured is December 30th, 2018, you're not going to qualify for Social Security disability benefits. You might qualify for what's called SSI, which is a lower monthly payment. It's not based upon your work history. It's essentially a federal welfare benefit based on disability. You might qualify for that, but you want to try to qualify for SSDI because it's a much bigger payment, and it also provides you access to Medicare, which I think we'll probably talk about here in a little bit. But so your date of disability has to be within your date last insured to qualify for disability benefits.
When we talk about the disability benefits, I know one of the main questions people are probably asking you are exactly what are my chances of getting approved for those disability benefits?
Great question. It's one of the questions that's really in the front of everybody's mind when they come in to talk to a lawyer about Social Security disability benefits.
Sure.
The initial approval rate on a disability claim is about 22%. And that 22% includes all the people who have become blind, who are paraplegics or quadriplegics. So it's a relatively small number of people that get approved or win at the initial application stage. Now, if you go through the entire process, so you make an application, you get denied, you ask for reconsideration, you get denied again, you request a hearing, about 37% of the people that go through the entire process actually get approved. So it's about 22% on the initial application, about 30% if you go through the entire process, 37%.
Well, it's not too bad. I'd say those are pretty good odds. Now, let's talk about a spousal, the issue of that. What if I have a spouse that has a substantial income and we have several assets, including money and savings, Mark? Can they still apply? How does that process work?
Yes, you can still apply. In fact, SSDI benefits have assets have no effect or relation to your ability to win an SSDI claim. However, if you don't qualify for SSDI, if you only qualify for SSI due to a work history where you haven't paid into the system, you definitely have asset limitations under the SSI program. SSDI, there are no asset limitations, so whatever your spouse has, whatever you have, has no effect on it. But SSI, there are definite asset limitations.
Remember, folks, we're talking with Mark Underwood of Underwood Law Office. Great to have him on the show. He's a McKinney personal injury attorney. His office is located in McKinney, Texas, I should say. UnderwoodLawOffice.com. That's UnderwoodLawOffice.com. That's the website you can find them at. 844 Underwood. That's 844 Underwood is the number that that's listed. You could reach out to them. They'd love to hear from you, even if you just need a little bit of information you want to talk to them. We'll do one more question before we take a quick break, Mark. This is kind of another scenario I kind of want to lay out for the listeners. Say my doctor said I was disabled and can't work anymore. Can I just have my doctor write a letter stating that and send it to Social Security? Since, I paid into my Social Security, it's my money. Why should I have to hire an attorney to get it? Kind of a two-part question, but a really good one.
Yeah, so disability is not just based upon your health condition. It's also based upon your age and your work condition. So while a doctor can render an opinion about your health, a doctor really can't give an opinion as to what your past relevant work is, what your work history is, and how that relates to age and disability. So while a doctor's letter is helpful, really what is more helpful from the doctor is what's called a residual functional capacity evaluation, which goes into the limitations that your health conditions create. So a letter from the doctor is not good enough. We need more than that.
There you go. And that pretty much is pretty plain and simple. You need a doctor. It makes total sense. I'd have to agree. All right. Well, Mark, we're going to take a quick break here on Ask the Experts. When we come back, we'll pick up where we left off. Of course, the topic of discussion today that we're having on the Ask the Experts with Mark Underwood is disability benefits through Social Security. So disability benefits is what we're covering today. Quick break. We'll be right back on the other side. This is Ask the Experts here on Talk Radio 1190. Stay tuned, folks. Welcome back to the show. It's Ask the Experts here on Talk Radio 1190. We do this every week, 10 to 12 here on Talk Radio 1190. We're talking with personal injury attorney Mark Underwood. His office is located in McKinney, Texas. UnderwoodLawOffice.com. That's UnderwoodLawOffice.com. It's the phone number to reach out to him, 844 Underwood. That's 844 Underwood. And Mark, let's just kind of pick up where we left off and just dive right back into it. I know we were talking in regards to disability benefits today, and you mentioned, of course, it's probably best to have an attorney help you out with this. I'm sure because of that, one of the main questions people ask you is, well, how much are attorney fees? People, times are tough, a little expensive with rent or what it might be, but how do they go about taking care of you as well if they need to seek for your services?
So, hey, Social Security disability is done by law on a contingency basis, and the fee comes out of any back pay that the administrative law judge may award you. And the fee is limited by law to 25% or less, and it cannot exceed $6,000. So you're protected by federal law from the fees in a Social Security disability case.
And I know we're pressed on time, so I want to kind of continue to go. If they have to go through this process, if they go through this entire process, Mark, and still get denied if they get denied their disability benefit by administrative law judge, what happens? How does that process play out, I guess you could say?
So, the question from the client is, what happens next?
Yeah.
We just did Social Security hearing, got the decision, administrative law judge turned them down. Well, there are still levels of appeal. There's what's called the Appeals Council. You can appeal to them. You can also go to the next level, which is appealing to a district court judge, federal district court judge. And then, of course, you can always reapply. So just because you got turned down by the administrative law judge doesn't mean it's time to quit.
And of course, that's why they would have to reach out to you if you're willing to be able to help them through this process, correct?
Absolutely.
Now, if they did apply for and this kind of, I do want to do one more scenario. I think that really kind of helps paint the picture for the listeners. I think you would agree. If they do apply for disability, and I hope this isn't the case, but you kind of referred to a construction earlier. If they broke both legs working construction, still haven't got approved, yet his said neighbor gets disability SSI, and nothing is wrong with her, how is that fair? Hopefully that's not the situation, but I'm sure that arises every now and then.
Well, people always have heard of somebody down the street, some cousin, some friend of a cousin, that applied for Social Security disability benefits and really didn't deserve it. Well, what we typically find in those cases is there's a lot more to the story about this particular person than what it looks like. I mean, they could have very serious psychiatric issues like schizophrenia, or it could be that they're much older. It's easier to get Social Security disability the older you are, because there are less job opportunities for the older population than what there is for somebody that's in their 20s. So it may very well be that the other person that received the disability benefits is more qualified due to a combination of things like age and other physical conditions.
I'm assuming in a lot of these situations are person by person basis. Everything's kind of different.
Absolutely.
And we got about 5 minutes left on the show, so we'll cover a couple more things, and then we'll get out of here. Of course, we're talking with Mark Underwood of UnderwoodLawOffice.com. That's the website you can find at UnderwoodLawOffice.com. His office is located in McKinney, Texas. Of course, I mentioned before, but Mark is a personal injury attorney located here in the DFW. His number is 844-UNDERWOOD. That's 844-UNDERWOOD. Now, if somebody gets in a bad car accident and their doctor puts them out of work for about 6 months, can they get temporary disability benefits from Social Security? I'm sure this comes up often. This is a really good question as well.
It comes up all the time. Unfortunately, somebody who's off work for 6 months cannot get Social Security disability benefits. They might be able to get private disability benefits through a private insurer that they pay, but they can't get Social Security disability benefits. And that's because Social Security disability benefits require you to be off of work for 1 year or more.
Okay.
So if it's just 6 months, that's not good enough. You got to be off work for 1 year or more.
Well, that makes sense, but understandably so, and unfortunate. But like you said, there's always other options they can maybe seek to I guess fix that situation. So that's nice as well. Last but not least, Mark, if someone did get awarded Social Security disability benefits, will they also get a monthly benefit for their spouse and kids?
So, hey, there's what's called the Family Benefit Program, which allows the children of somebody who is on Social Security disability to receive a small monthly payment also. That's definitely worth investigating if you have children under the age of 18 and you've become disabled.
And I guess I got ahead of myself. I wanted to bring up one more thing because I think it's really important. Medicare, if you've been approved for disability benefits, can you still get Medicare? How's that work?
So this is a huge deal, man.
Yeah, I figured.
So you're working a job. You worked at a job for many years. You get disabled. You get let go at the job because you can no longer work because you're disabled. And all of a sudden, not only are you out of a job, but you no longer have your health insurance because you're no longer working at your job and your health insurance was provided by your employer. So, what do you do? Well, if you apply for Social Security disability benefits, you can get Medicare. So you're disabled. You need treatment for your medical conditions that are causing the disability. Well, if you apply for and receive Social Security disability benefits, you can get Medicare. If it's an application under the SSI program, you can get Medicaid. Hugely, hugely important, huge safety net for somebody who has become disabled. The trick about it, though, is you typically cannot get Medicare or Medicaid, can't become Medicare or Medicaid eligible for 2 years. It takes 2 years after you've been approved. So you've got a couple of years during the disability process to get approved, and then you've got 2 more years on top of that before you can receive Medicare. But, once you get it, it's a big deal, because if you can get treatment, maybe you can get well. And if you can get well, maybe you can go back to work. And that takes me to another topic, is what's called a trial work period. So if you've been approved for Social Security disability, you've been receiving disability benefits for a few or maybe even several years, and you're getting good treatment for your health, and you start to get better, what do, right? You don't want to go back to work and lose your disability benefits only to become sick again. So, what do? Well, Social Security disability has what's called a trial work period, which means you can test your ability to work, to go back to work, for up to 9 months. Now, you only get one trial work period while you're on Social Security disability, and you must report your work activity to the Social Security Administration. But it's a great program trying to get people back into the workforce without risking losing everything again.
Well, we got to wrap things up here on the show on Ask the Experts. Real quick, before we get out of here, UnderwoodLawOffice.com. That's UnderwoodLawOffice.com. It's 844-UNDERWOOD. That's 844-UNDERWOOD is the phone number you can reach out. Of course, Mr. Underwood's office is located in McKinney, Texas. He's a personal injury attorney. And Mark, always a pleasure having you on the show. I really look forward to doing it again here in the future.
Absolutely, Matt. I'll see you in a week or two, and we'll do this again.
Perfect. Well, I'll tell you what, you have a great Memorial Day weekend, sir, okay?
Thank you very much, Matt. You have a great Memorial Day weekend yourself.
Thank you, sir. And again, it's been another edition of Ask the Experts here on Talk Radio 1190. We do this every week, 10 to 12. We'll do it again next week. Take care, folks.